owning an e-bike is often going to mean more riding, and more riding is going to lead to more wear on your bike. You're going to be taking in new terrain, going on bigger adventures, maybe pushing the envelope a little bit more. I mean, that's the thing with e-bikes, it just makes you go nuts for riding, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've got a love for mountain biking. I'm like a really enthusiastic beginner on e-bikes and I just want to ride it all the time.
Okay, so let's have a look just how we can get the most performance and the most longevity out of your e-bike.
So when it comes to tyres, Steve, it's the same sort of deal. You've got different brands, different tyre compounds, different tread patterns, but still a mountain bike, right?
Well, not quite done. I mean, grip is always your friend, right, on a mountain bike, but
rolling resistance?
You don't have to worry about rolling resistance on an e-bike. I mean, you can now have premium quality rubber without having to worry about the drag, and that's especially true in winter, right?
So you run some really soft tyres all year round. I like it.
The thing with tyres, as with many other components, it depends on the terrain you ride and the type of trail you ride. But if you're on a mid-travel bike in reasonable technical going, then a 2.6 plus size tyre with a hefty sidewall is a really good starting point. First step, it's going to cushion the ride. Then it's going to give you a good bit of pop on the lips, great braking performance, and overall some really good traction. Weight wise, you're looking at about 1 kilo, and don't forget, it's got to be tubeless. But the biggest thing of all to remember with e-bikes, it's pointless having power if you haven't got any grip.
So you'll find that most e-bikes have 27.5 inch wheels and plus tyres. On this bike I've actually got some 2.6 mud tyres. You can see the tread is really chunky. And normally in conditions like this where it's dry and dusty and loose, they wouldn't be much good, but to be honest, on this bike with that extra weight, it's nice to have all that rubber on the ground, really helping with grip. It's also good to have a pretty robust sidewall because of the weight of that bike. Steve, I'm on my high bike, it's got 180mm travel, so it's a big bike, and I've got big brakes as well. I've got 200mm rotors and 4-pot calipers on there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a bike which most people will call a trail bike, and this too has got 200mm front and back, and you know what, no one's going to be stopping me going and tackling big 20-minute alpine descents. So if you're looking for a performance increase on an e-bike, a downhill style brake with 200mm rotors is essential.
And of course a heavy bike, so power is the name of the game.
Totally, yeah, 100%.
Now when it comes to drivetrain, it's definitely not worth skimping on parts. You're probably going to be riding the bike an awful lot, you're putting a lot of power through that chain, but also you might find you're changing gear an awful lot. The speed you can now ride up climbs and undulating sections just means you're changing gear loads. So e-bike specific components like the chain, they're going to be wider, they're going to be stronger. Also the shifter only actually lets you go up 1 gear at a time on the block, just so you don't mash through the gears, put loads of power down and risk snapping that chain. So when it comes to suspension, the bikes are obviously very heavy, but you've got all that sprung weight and the suspension feels really active to me. It really, really works.
It does. I think it's harder to unsettle an e-bike than a normal bike. Nevertheless, there's a huge amount of force going through the front of the bike. So if you've got a mid-travel e-bike, I think 36mm stanchions through axle for sure. That's a good starting point.
As far as damping goes, you've got the same controls as a normal bike. You've got rebound, high, low speed, those things. Is that the same sort of setup?
Yeah, do you know what? I think keep it as normal. It's a personal thing, and just experiment with it really.
A good quality wheel set capable of taking a beating is essential for your e-bike. Don't cut corners because the cheaper set of wheels will get destroyed pretty quickly. So a downhill strength wheel set is a good starting point, but there are an increasing number of e-bike specific wheels coming with carbon and alloy rims in varying rim widths. So whilst you're here, click on these links to get through to some more videos about e-bikes. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video, but don't forget to subscribe by clicking on this logo. We're doing loads of videos about e-bikes, features about how to ride them and look after them.